now we need to begin to take a shift in your mindset. So start looking at things differently, and we'll kind of go through this together. But the first thing is creating value awareness. Now, value awareness is, well, value is what your products or services help your clients to do or to achieve. So it's not your value that you offer is not what your product does. That's kind of the functional details of your product. The value is what that functionality helps them to improve on their side, right? So uh, this is something that it can be very easy for salespeople to lose sight of, either to not really fully be aware, knowledgeable about the value that their products offer, because a lot of us salespeople can just talk about the functionality, the features, but becoming so being identifying the value that your products offer is kind of step one here, right? So just being, I guess, identifying the core value is again step one. But then the key thing here is to not lose sight of that. So having that kind of at the front of your mind, and so this can help you from a mental standpoint when you are fully aware, which means I sell this and it helps with this, and never really losing sight of that and just operating every day when you talk to people with the value that you offer at the front of your mind. That begins to create a stronger mental attitude because, well, just moving on to this next slide here, because what that will help you to do is it will help you to begin to see yourself as a helper. Uh, that you are reaching out to prospects to help them. And that's such a real powerful shift in attitude, in mindset, in approach, in that when you're trying to sell products, features, and services, you're a taker. You have something to sell. You want them to buy. If they buy, you're going to hit your quota. You're going to make money. You want to take, right? But if you see yourself and have the value that you offer, the value awareness in the front of your mind, and then you're leading with that, well, if your product helps somebody with something, then you can operate with the mindset of you're not looking for the people that you can sell to, you're looking for the people, the prospects that need your help. And it's safe to say that not everybody needs your help, right? A doctor, let's say an eye doctor helps people to see better, right? And they do that by providing eye exams and contacts and corrective lenses. But the value that they offer is they help people that have trouble seeing to see better. What a powerful thing. We take that for granted in our world that we live in today, but put yourself like in medieval times where someone needs corrective lenses and there weren't any, right? And put an eye doctor in that type of world, and that they're able to put something on this person's face or in their eyes that makes them see like a normal person. What value is that, right? So that doctor, and you can really see any doctor as a helper. They're helping someone to see. And so not everybody needs corrective lenses because a big portion of the population has good eyesight. So that doctor, if they were prospecting, they're looking for the people that need their help. They're not out there saying, who can I sell contacts and glasses to? They're looking for who needs my help. And that can greatly, if you really never lose sight of that and you operate every day, again, getting to what we're trying to achieve here today, that can build mental strength. Another thing that you can do to build mental strength is to eliminate the weak language that you might be saying every day. And I'm just flabbergasted by how many people use weak language, and it's just very negative, it's not even salesy language. It's very, let's say the word needy. It's a very needy language. So saying stuff like, I know you're busy right now. I'm sorry for the interruption. I will only take a few minutes of your time. Did I catch you at a bad time? I'm sorry to bother you. We could go on, but that's very weak language. And a helper, and I apologize, maybe I shouldn't use the word helper because of my last name, but a helper does not use that kind of language. An eye doctor who can change someone's life by making them see better does not worry about the person being too busy for them, or being an interruption. So if you start to view yourself as helping and having a lot of value to offer, you need to stop using language like this. And so like and the you can easily alter what you're trying to say here and do it in a better light. Like, for example, to say, "Did I catch you at a bad time?" I'm a an advocate for confirming if someone's available, like over the phone, or even if I'm meeting with them in person. And I'll add, but instead of saying, "Did I catch you at a bad time?" change that to say, "Did I catch you in the middle of anything?" So a bad time is negative. Catch you in the middle of anything, it's there's nothing negative about that. It's confirming, are you in the middle of something that you need to stay focused on? And if so, that's perfectly fine. It doesn't mean I'm being weak or I'm not worthy of your time. It just means I need to contact you at another time. But so that's better than saying bad time or am I bothering you or whatever. So just try to avoid that weak language, because what that can do is it does a couple things. One is it subcommunicates something very weak to your prospect. So that can have a huge impact on how you're received. But it can also be having an impact on how you see yourself. That you see yourself as a taker and not someone coming from a very strong place. Now, something that can help to kind of maintain that value awareness, to establish this level of confidence and clarity, is to use sales affirmations. And the word affirmation kind of it gets tossed around. Maybe sometimes is used well, and sometimes it's not used well. So uh, you, the way I see affirmations is that we need to be reminded every day of things we're doing well and things that are great about us, and that can help to diffuse that self-doubt and help us to operate with strong mental strength. And so an affirmation is basically a statement that reaffirms or affirms something good on your side. So now affirmations, to make them good is they should be somewhat real and realistic, right? If let's say you're struggling to hit your quota, and if you create an affirmation that says, "I'm the best salesperson in my company," well, that's not true. So we need to create these positive statements that are somewhat realistic and true so that we can believe them. We need to be reminded about what we're doing well and what's strong about us. And so you can create affirmations about the products you sell. So if you think about that eye doctor changing lives, um, that is a very valuable product. And or even think of like a LASIK surgeon, right? That helps someone to never have to wear corrective lenses again. That's life changing. So you can think about affirmations about the product. For example, so our LASIK surgery changes people's lives. That's an affirmation about the product that you sell. So if you were, and I know LASIK surgery isn't sold this way, but if you were prospecting for LASIK surgery, it would be important for you every day to keep in mind that what you're trying to sell changes people's lives. So you can think of affirmations about the products you sell. You could think about affirmations about the company. Maybe there's some really great things about your company that are worth never forgetting. You could make some affirmations about you as a person, that you have all sorts of years of experience, or you're a great listener, or you have a ton of integrity. So make this list of affirmations, and what that will allow you to do is, these can help you to kind of maintain that value awareness, see yourself as a helper, see yourself as a very strong person. And in order for these to work, you should write them down, or print them, type them out and print them out, put them on a wall in your office, and read them every day, and that will provide a lot of clarity for you moving forward. If you work for a company, you may have some sort of quota, probably do. But whether you work for a company or not, or have a quota already in place, set some personal targets for yourself. There could be the case where you have an annual sales quota that you have to kind of report on, quarterly or monthly or whatnot. What you can do is set some personal targets, maybe a daily quota, a weekly quota, monthly, and whatnot. And these don't have to just be. And so a lot of the quotas are around sales revenue, and what you could do is you could break your personal targets down to where they're more about the things that lead to sales revenue, right? So I'm a big believer when I work with my salespeople. I don't really focus on the end result, which is sales, or meetings or leads. I focus on what are the steps that are going to lead to the results that I want. So and that could be activity, going to events, meetings. It's those dealing with objections, doing the right things lead to the end result. So you could set some personal targets for yourself for some of the smaller stuff. A good example of this is setting a quota. If you can use networking as a lead generation vehicle, and set a quota for yourself. I'm going to go to 2 networking events a week, and if you set that quota, then you're going to be more likely to consistently go to 2 events a week. If you just say to yourself, networking would be really good and I should do more networking. If you do that versus saying I'm going to go to 2 networking events a week, and you track that, which do you think you're going to be more consistent, more successful with, and push yourself more? So your target should be realistic. If it's not realistic for you, because of your family obligations and whatnot, if 2 networking events a week is not really realistic, don't set that as a target. Make a target that is realistic so that you have a chance to hit it, and it's okay for it to be somewhat of a stretch. And similar to your affirmations, write these down, print them out, put them on a wall, and read them daily. We're still on this third step of shifting our mindset, right? So we shifted to more of a value mindset than a selling products. We're shifting more towards a helper than a taker. The other thing is that we can shift more from a mindset of picking fruit to one of planting seeds. Most salespeople, they're out there looking, where am I going to get that deal? And it's understandable, because you have pressure to sell, you have sales targets, you have a quota, and you have a bag of products, right? So you're out there, you're looking for what trees have fruit on them, and the fruit that you can pull off and pick and harvest. Now, the reality is that while it's great to pick a piece of fruit when you see it on a tree, that fruit has to come from somewhere. And so if you're more focused on planting seeds that lead to the trees, that lead to the fruit down the road, and then while you're doing that, grabbing the fruit that you see, that can be a good shift in mindset. Not only is that a good lead generation process, because again, you're planting seeds, and that could bear more fruit in the long term, but it's really important from a mental aspect. We were just talking about going to networking events. From a mental aspect, now going to a networking event is planting seeds, and because you're making connections, you're building relationships. You should not go to a networking event trying to sell your products. Depending on what you sell most. I mean, maybe you're in a situation where you should, but for all intents and purposes, networking should be planting seeds. And so if you go to a networking event and you walk out of there with 0 leads, 0 products sold, then you're going to be frustrated. You're going to experience one of those lows. You're going to feel like, man, I just wasted $50 and 2 hours of my time. But the reality is that that's a mindset thing. If you're in the mindset of planting seeds, you might walk out of there achieving the same thing, but realizing, you know what, that was a good conversation with that one person, and they could be a referral source, and I'm going to try to have a meeting with them. I know that they're not someone who's ever going to buy from me, but I'm going to try to have coffee with them, and that might go somewhere. And I planted some seeds. When you plant seeds, you don't know which ones sprout. You just plant them, water them, and down the road, stuff starts to sprout. So this is an important lead generation piece of logic, but it's also important from a mental standpoint.